Hello everyone, welcome back to iRacing and welcome to a combo that has given me nothing but grief this week. This will be the third time I've attempted the Formula iR-04 at Suzuka. The first two times were absolute disasters. I've lost nearly 150 off my iRating from just those two outings. So if I'm going to stop this dramatic decline, I'm going to have to do something that I've not been able to manage so far this week, and that is survive lap 1 at Suzuka. We're going to find it tough though, because I am slap bang in the middle of a packed grid of 23 drivers. We qualified in 11th with a time of 2:03.8. Now, in all three qualifying sessions I've done, so many drivers have decided against putting a lap time in, and it's no different here. 10 of the drivers behind me on the grid have elected not to qualify, and that's what's caused me the problems in the opening two races. You get some ultra fast drivers behind you at the start, and then of course they're in a real hurry to try and charge through the pack and make those positions back on lap 1, and that's what's been causing the accidents. Hopefully though, we'll be safer this time. The lights have gone green and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it's third time lucky here at Suzuka. We're having to be really cautious on the throttle as we approach turn 1. That car in front didn't get away as quickly as we did. Now I'm stuck out wide because we've got Francois Marouz on our inside. We're side by side coming out of the first turn. Hopefully Marouz will back out of this one, as I've got the inside line for the entry into the S's. He has done, so we've held off Marouz, but we've lost a couple of positions there. Jorik van Hees was the driver in front of us who held us up a little bit off the start line there. But honestly, after the two races I did with this combo yesterday, I don't care what position I'm in at the end of lap 1, as long as I'm still on track with all four wheels attached. That'll be an improvement on my two races yesterday. Meanwhile, in front of Van Hees is Matthew Miner. Now, Miner started alongside me on the grid in 12th. Now, he took full advantage of me getting caught up on the outside. He nipped up the inside into T1 to take that position. And then right in front of Miner is the pole position man, Matthew Walker. So Walker must have had a horrible start. And it almost goes wrong into the hairpin. We had a warning that there was a slow car in front. I guess one of the drivers further up had spun, but he must have rejoined. I didn't see any cars out on the grass, and that's cost us some valuable time. We had to get on the brakes harder than I would have liked, and then we had to swing it out wide to avoid running into the back of the cars in front. And I'm guessing it was James Winterburn who had the spin in the hairpin. Speaking of spins, there's another car out into the gravel on the right. That was Torsten Ojaperv. I did see the cloud of smoke and I was hesitant on the gas for a moment there. That might have cost us a tenth or two, but we are within 0.4 of a second of Winterburn, so we're not too far behind here. Approaching 130R for the first time. Usually it's flat out in these Formula 4 cars, but not this time. Not on the first lap. I lift slightly just to give me that extra bit of reaction time if there's an incident in front. Thankfully there wasn't this time. Oh, but there is now. There's contact between James Winterburn and Jorik van Hees, and it's Van Hees who's gone out. There's another driver going into pit lane. So that's two positions gained, and there might be a third one up for grabs here because we're alongside James Winterburn now. Winterburn got caught up in that collision with Van Hees. It's cost him some exit speed. We should be able to get this pass done too into turn 1. And we have done. The tighter line's going to mean we're a bit wider than I'd like on exit, but we've held the position. We're up into 7th place. So the driver we saw disappearing down pit lane was the pole position man, Matthew Walker. Watch him jump the start right there, and he might have taken his fellow front rower David Bednar with him. It looked like Bednar jumped the start as well. It's going to be Bednar who gets the whole shot, but it definitely looked from that angle like the red number 6 reacted to Walker jumping the start and got away a bit too quickly himself. But thankfully all the drivers got through that first sector unscathed, and actually we had to wait until spoons before we lost someone. That was Torsten Ojaperv just losing the rear and spinning into the gravel. 130R now. This happened just a little way behind us. The number 20, Alessandro Pattarello, losing it on exit and sliding into the tyre wall. Meanwhile, at the final chicane, there were more hijinks. This is the clash between James Winterburn and Jorik van Hees. Winterburn on the inside just locks wheels with Van Hees. It's so difficult to come through this chicane too wide. We're on board with Winterburn. It looks like he tried to take as much of the curb on the inside as he could, but it still wasn't enough. And look at the opportunity it gave me. I pull alongside, and by turn 1, we're able to get the pass done. Well, I did wonder whether David Bednar would have got a drive-through penalty for that jump start, and that's exactly what happened. He actually took it at the same time as Matthew Walker. However, because he was a little bit further down pit lane when I crossed the line to end lap 1, I didn't get given the position straight away. It was only when we crossed the line to end lap 2 that I realised I'd been promoted up to 6th position. Halfway through lap 3 now, and I'm being put under all kinds of pressure by James Winterburn behind. He's just 0.5 of a second back. Now, normally I'd be delighted to look at that early 90s Williams livery, but not when it's in my rearview mirror hounding me for my 6th position. We know that Winterburn's a lot faster than I am. His qualifying time was half a second quicker, so I'm going to have to work really hard if I want to hold on to this 6th position. At the moment, there's nothing I can do to open up that gap. Oh, there's been an accident in front. Which way is he going to go? Oh, I didn't know whether he was going to go left or right there. Thankfully, I guessed correctly, and we got around him. Yeah, it was Matteo Minor in 5th position who spun coming out of Spoons. Now, it is really slippery through here. It's so easy to lose the rear end, and that's exactly what happened to Minor. But then when he came back on track, oh, that sent me into a panic. I guessed correctly and went to the right, and actually we were just as lucky not to get hit by Winterburn. Superb reactions from Winterburn to slam on the brakes and avoid running into us there. Well, with Matteo Minor spinning out of contention, that's promoted me up to 5th position by lap 4, but I'm also starting to feel really tense. That near miss with Minor really rattled me, and not only that, I'm beginning to feel the pressure from these faster guys behind. It's not just Winterburn now, we've also got Paul Distilly and Alex Mayer, all 3 of them quicker than I am, and I'm really struggling to lose them here. We're a little bit quicker through this section. I've opened up just an extra 10th or 2, but we're going to lose it again through the second half of the lap. These guys are a lot quicker from the hairpin onwards. Now watch Winterburn in my rearview mirror. He's so much stronger on the brakes coming into this hairpin. Now I noticed that, and that is going to play a big part in the ultimately doomed decision I make a lap later, which ruins my race. So we've jumped forward a lap, working our way through the S's in lap 5. It's 0.4 of a second back to James Winterburn in 6th position. Now once again I'm a little bit quicker through this section, so I open up a couple of tenths. It's 0.6 now, but I'm going to make my first big mistake coming into Degner. Normally I'll shift down to 4th there to help keep the car stable, but I missed my shift. I took it in 5th, and that caused me real trouble there trying to keep the car on track. That meant that Winterburn was a couple of tenths closer than I would have liked, so I make the doomed decision to try and take the defensive line into the hairpin, and I get it all wrong. Then I get a clout from Winterburn as well. I get it onto the grass, so I'm not in anyone else's way, but that makes it so difficult to rejoin, and then I get the alert that we've picked up wing damage. This race is over. Yeah, what an idiot. I'm fuming with myself for throwing away this 5th position. Why I decided to take that defensive line, I don't know. But the tighter entry meant I was carrying too much speed to make the turn. My front wheel got up onto the curb, and from then on it was curtains. Riding on board with Paul Distilly, he'll get the best view and he'll see the contact that damaged my rear wing. Now thankfully it looks like Winterburn got away with it without any damage himself. I'm so relieved about that. But unfortunately for the 3rd race in a row, I'm stuck in the pits just waiting for that timer to count down. I've got nobody to blame but myself. I cracked under the pressure. What a complete idiot. Well, by the time I was able to rejoin the track, I found myself down in 20th position. There were still a few laps of this race to go, so I was hoping that some of the drivers in front may crash, go to the pits themselves and give me a few positions back, but sadly it wasn't to be. The closest we got to a freebie was from William Kinsman. You can see on the relative board that Kinsman's in the pits at the moment, but as we approach the final chicane, we're just not close enough. Kinsman now coming out of the pits, so that was our one chance of getting a position. Yeah, Kinsman was actually in 2nd place and in the middle of a 3-way battle for the lead when he picked up the damage. He just runs a bit wide into T1, and then he gets a proper whack from the number 12, Stefan Heinrich. Now Heinrich got away with that. He didn't pick up any damage, so he was able to finish the race and take 2nd position behind the winner, James Doherty. But poor old Kinsman, he had to pit for repairs. By the time those repairs were done, he had to settle for 19th position, 1 place in front of me. I crossed the line in 20th. Which of course means yet another huge iRating drop, -69. That means in 3 races we've lost nearly 220 off our iRating. Unsurprisingly, because of the spin, we lost a bit of safety rating too. So it's been a disastrous week all round on iRacing. Right, let's take a look at the classified results. There we are, down in 20th, but it should have been so much better. Look at that fastest lap in the race, a 2:03.4 for me there. That's nearly half a second quicker than my qualifying time, and it's more than strong enough to have competed for a top 10 here, but instead I threw it all away because I cracked under the pressure. So losing 220 iRating across 3 races in iRacing this week is not a statistic to be proud of, but hey, it could have been worse. Not too long ago, I lost 500 iRating in one weekend. If you want to watch that tale of woe, check out the video on screen now. I will warn you though, it's not for the faint of heart. But that's it from Suzuka. All that's left for me to do is wish you a happy weekend and hope that you have better luck in your races than I've had in mine. Thanks for watching. Cheers.